Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all figuring out together how to peace out, right? I was surprised how much work it was going to take to learn how to peace out, right? And I'm still learning how to peace out. Still figuring out how to just let that peace reign, no matter what changes in a day or no matter what a day looks like. Because you never know what a day is really going to bring. You think you're going to go to work, you think you're going to go do this, you make these plans, but they get interrupted or changed. You never know what a day's going to bring. The good thing is God is always with us and we always have access to his peace, right? So we don't have to worry about it because we know his peace. Jesus said, I'm leaving my peace with you, fully accessible, right? So that's a cool thing. So I'm reading through Exodus. I'm almost through with it. Actually, I'm at about chapter nearly. Oh, I am almost done with it. If I'd known I was that close, I'd have finished it this morning. Anyway, so I'm reading through Exodus. We've got the children of Israel. God goes and gets the children of Israel, brings them out, camp along the edge of the wilderness, and then he does the most weird thing. He tells them to build a tabernacle. Okay, now they're on a journey. He has done all kinds of miracles and wonders and brought them out of Egypt. He brings them to the edge of the wilderness. He's already made the way through the Red Sea. He's already made bitter water sweet. He's already started feeding them manna from heaven, right? He's proven to them that he's their provider. And then they're here they sit on the edge of the wilderness with a long journey before them. Now they're going to make it longer because they're a little stubborn, but I do that too probably. But here they are, ready for the journey, and they're going to go through the wilderness and take the promised land. And what does God have them do? He has them build a place for him. He has them build a tabernacle. And we're not talking about going down to they didn't go down to the lumber yard and get a few pieces of wood and make a little tent and throw a tarp over it so they had a cover and make a little altar out of some wood. No, they had to cut down the trees and craft. Expert craftsmen had to make the altar of the wood, and they didn't have power tools. They didn't have an electric sander, right? And they had to literally melt the gold to cover things. And then I started thinking, why did they have so much gold and bronze with them? Were those common items during the day? I know my mind goes off on stuff like that. But they had to actually melt down the bronze and the gold and the silver to overlay things and make them beautiful. And they made elaborate tapestries, right? And they literally had to make the yarn first out of goat hair. And then once they made the yarn, then they had to make the tapestries and the curtains and then they had to make the gold ring. And I was like, man, that's a lot of detail. When they could have been walking across the desert, they could have been walking through the wilderness all that time. Instead, God made them something more to carry along with them. Now, here's why this was intriguing to me this morning. Because I was driving around town yesterday and I had to go get Eli from his robotics and get it to Ranella's and get back up here for an x-ray for Chris. It was a crazy day. I'm telling you, you never know what's going to happen, right? And as I was driving, I was like, people are just so distracted. I'm a people too. We're so distracted. We're so busy. We're not even paying attention. Right? I look at the way people, I know this is little stuff, but I've been thinking about this for a while. I look at the way people just fly into parking spots and they don't even care if they're between the lines or if it's a handicapped or if it's staff only. They don't care. They just got to do what they got to do, and they're busy and they're not paying attention and they're distracted. People are on their phones when they're driving around town because you can't go 20 minutes from one destination to the other without answering an email or getting a text or some, right? We're so busy. We're inundated with stuff. Now, when we first started this devotion almost 4 years ago now, we were inundated with information. And it was like we had stuff coming at us and we did misinformation and good information and in between information, made up information. It was crazy, right? And that's when I started this broadcast, because this daily devotional, because I'm like, God's peace is still here. It didn't take a break when somebody started throwing the word pandemic out there, right? God's peace is still here. He didn't say I don't work during pandemics. No, call me when it's over. Right? Or I don't work during critical circumstances. Call me when it's over. No, his peace is still here. His grace was still enough. His mercies were still new every single morning. And it's still the same today. And so now we don't have that to distract us. We kind of distract ourselves. Maybe it's just me. I can distract myself. I took 5 minutes this morning. I was waiting to clock in for my aid job, and I had like 4 minutes, and I thought, well, let me just check this. And I before I knew it, my alarm went off. It was time to clock in. I was like, where did that 5 minutes go? I didn't even do anything in that 5 minutes, but I was distracted. We're so preoccupied with where we got to go, what we got to do, what we got to get accomplished today. I don't want to. My whole point in this is this: God made them take time to make room for Him before the journey, before the longest part of the journey. Now, He brought them out with power. He brought them out with miracles. He brought them out, but then He made them sit and make a place for Him to make sure that in the forefront of their minds, they knew that God was with them. And so I think today I want to encourage all of us, and this is something I'm really thinking about, is making that place for God before my day starts. Yeah, I'm working on a devotional called Command Your Morning, and the little subtitle is And the Rest of Your Day Will Follow. And so I encourage you to take a minute, just a minute, to focus and think, God is with me on this journey. He wanted them to know. And I read my favorite scripture, Exodus 34:14, that says that God is passionate about his relationship with you. He wants us to make that place for him. And he had them spend all this time, because this wasn't done in a day. This, I don't even know how long it would have taken, but they literally had to cut the trees and kill the goats, right? And make the altars and make all these little pieces and make all the curtains and the right places. And they all came together and they sat there before starting on the big part of the journey. They sat there until the tabernacle was made. And it was just something else for them to have to carry along too, right? That's what I was thinking this morning. I'm like, look, I'm trying to cut out things that are just sapping my time. And I'm like, man, that took time to build and time to carry. Every time they moved, they had to pack it up. And it said there was like over 6,000 men over 20 years of age. So I'm like, how 600,000 men? How many people were there? It was like an army moving every time, and yet God said, just wait. Just wait. We're going to get to the promised land, but I want you to make sure that you know I'm coming with you. That's so powerful. It's so powerful. And so if we can just make a minute in our day to just acknowledge that God is coming with us, give him that place. Now, thankfully, we don't have to go down, cut down a tree without a chainsaw, by the way. We don't have to go cut down a tree. We don't have to melt gold. We don't have to make the yarn, to make tapestries, but all we have to do is just give God that place. And that's where his peace comes. Just give him that place and just say, okay, I want you on this journey with me. Because they could have said, we're not building a tabernacle. Let's just head out. Come on, let's just go. What is this? And they could have been distracted by the journey. Don't be distracted by your journey today. Make sure you set up a place for God in your heart. And it only takes a minute to just go, God, I want you to be in my day with me. Walk in this day with me. Because you know what? He's going to do it every single day, every single time. And that's why we can peace out. He's on the journey with us, and he wants us to know that he is with us on our journeys through life, through time, right? That's why we can peace out. Peace out. Have a great day. I hope I said something that made sense. I'll see you again tomorrow.